Hi everyone, welcome to my brain dump number 10. A bank requires tellers to get manager approval when a customer wants to open a new account. A recent audit shows that there have been 4 cases in the previous year where tellers opened accounts without management approval. The bank president thought separation of duties would prevent this from happening. In order to implement a true separation of duties approach, the bank could C. Require all new accounts to be handled by someone else other than a teller since they have different duties. Security administrator has been tasked with improving the overall security posture related to desktop machines on a network. An auditor has recently that several machines with confidential customer information displayed in the screens are left unattended during the course of the day. Which of the following could the security administrator implement to reduce the risk associated with this finding? That is C. Enable group policy-based screensaver timeouts. That way the screen turns off after a few minutes of inactivity. Company policy requires the use of passphrases instead of passwords. Which of the following technical controls must be in place in order to promote the use of passphrases? And that is D. Complexity. During a routine audit, it is discovered that someone has been using a stale administrative account to log in a seldom used server. The person has been using the server to view inappropriate websites that are prohibited to end users. Which of the following could best prevent this from occurring again? It is D. Account expiration policy. Which of the following should identify crucial systems and components? It is the BCP. Which of the following works by implementing software on systems but delays execution until a specific set of conditions is met? And that is a logic bomb. A web application is configured to target browsers and allow access to bank accounts to siphon money to a foreign account. This is an example of which of the following attacks, and that is cross-site scripting. Technicians working with servers hosted at the company's data centers are increasingly complaining of electric shocks when touching metal items which have been linked to hard drive failures. Which of the following should be implemented to correct this issue? And that is to increase humidity in the room. By increasing the humidity in the room, there's less chance of a static shock. That's why in wintertime you commonly accidentally get shocked by your doorknob or anything else. A portable data storage device has been determined to have malicious firmware. Which of the following is the best course of action to ensure data confidentiality? That is C. To perform virus scan in the device. The security administrator must implement a system to ensure that invalid certificates are not used by a custom-developed application. The system must be able to check the validity of certificates even when internet access is unavailable. Which of the following must be implemented to support this requirement? That is a CRL. In addition, is install a new vulnerability scanner software on a server that is joined to the company domain. The vulnerability scanner is able to provide visibility over the patch posture of all company's clients. Which of the following is being used? And that is actually a credentialed scan. The Chief Security Officer is a multinational bank corporation reviewing a plan to upgrade the entire corporate IT infrastructure. The architecture consists of centralized cloud environment hosting the majority of data, small server clusters at each corporate location to handle the majority of customer transaction processing, ATMs, and new mobile banking applications accessible from smartphones, tablets, and the internet via HTTP. I don't know why it's not HTTPS. The corporation does business having varied data retention and privacy laws. Which of the following technical modifications to the architecture and corresponding security controls should be implemented to provide the most complete protection of data? And that is C. Store customer data based on national borders, ensure end-to-end encryption between ATMs, end users, and servers, test redundancies, and COOP plans to ensure data is not advertently shifted from one legal jurisdiction to another with more stringent regulations. While reviewing the monthly internet usage, it is noted that there's a large spike in traffic classified as unknown, and it does not appear to be within the bounds of the organization accessible use policy. Which of the following tool or technology would work best for obtaining more information on this traffic? And that is the IDS logs. The network administrator wants to ensure that users do not connect to unauthorized devices to the company network. Each desk needs to connect a VoIP voice over internet protocol phone and a computer. Which of the following is the best way to accomplish this? That is A. Enforced authentication for network devices. 802.1x is awesome for this because as soon as he sees a MAC address that's not supposed to be on there, boom, it is ticking right off. Administrator has concerns regarding the traveling sales team who works primarily from smartphones. Given the sensitive nature of their work, which of the following would best prevent access to the data in case of loss or theft? That is B. Configure the smartphone so that the stored data can be destroyed from a centralized location. A user of the wireless network is unable to gain access to the network. The symptoms are 1. Unable to connect to both internal and internet resources. 2. The wireless icons show connectivity but has no network access. The wireless network is WPA2 Enterprise and users must be a member of the wireless security group to authenticate. Which of the following is the most likely cause of the connectivity issue? It is C. The user's laptop only supports WPA and WEP. As we can see, they use WPA2. The Chief Financial Officer has asked the Chief Information Officer, CISO, to provide a response to a recent audit report detailed deficiencies in the organization's security controls. The CFO would like to know ways in which the organization can improve its authorization controls. Given the request by the CFO, which of the following controls should the CISO focus on in the report? You gotta select 3 of them. So it's going to be role-based permissions, it's going to be separation of duties, and least privilege, which means, whatever you need to know, basically. What access do you need to do your job, basically? And this is actually going to separate duties, going to show what your job actually is going to be, and you're going to have role-based permissions. Depending on your job, what you're supposed to do, you'll have a role to what kind of stuff you can be actually accessing. A mobile device user is concerned about geographic positioning information being included in messages sent between users on a popular social network platform. The user turns off the functionality of the application, but wants to ensure the application cannot re-enable the setting without the knowledge of the user. Which of the following mobile device capabilities should the user disable to achieve the stated goal? And that's going to be geotagging. A member of a digital forensic team, Joe, arrives at a crime scene and is preparing to collect system data. Before powering off the system, Joe knows he must collect the most volatile data. It should be data first. Which of the following is the correct order in which Joe should collect the data? And that's going to be the CPU's cache. It's then going to be the RAM, random access memory. Then it's going to be the paging and the swap files. And then it's going to be the remote logging data. An organization has hired a penetration tester to test the security of its 10 web servers. The penetration tester is able to gain root administrative access to several servers by exploiting vulnerabilities associated with the implementation of SMTP, POP, DNS, FTP, Telnet, and IMAP. Which of the following recommendations should the penetration tester provide to the organization to better protect their web servers in the future? And that is going to be B, disable unnecessary services. By having those services open and they're not even necessary for actual use to do their job, then it's basically going to just open up more stuff that could possibly be zero-day attacks or even possibly known vulnerabilities. Microsoft Office Suite had some extra little things added on there and creating a backdoor, and boom, intruders got in. Security engineer is faced with competing requirements for the networking group and database administrators. Database administrators would like 10 application servers on the same subnet for ease of administration, whereas the networking group would like to segment all applications from one another. Which of the following would the security administrator do to rectify this issue? It's B. We're going to recommend classifying each application into its like security groups and segmenting those groups from one another. A security analyst has been asked to perform a review of an organization's software development lifecycle. The analyst reports the lifecycle does not contain a phase in which the team members evaluate and provide critical feedback of another developer's code. Which of the following assessment techniques is best described in the analysis report? That is peer review. An attacker wearing a building maintenance uniform approached the company's receptionist asking for access to a secure area. The receptionist asks identification and a building access badge and checks the company's list of approved maintenance personnel prior to granting physical access to the secure area. The controls used by the receptionist are in place to prevent which of the following types of attacks? That is impersonation. The security administrator is tasked with conducting an assessment made to establish baseline security posture of the corporate IT infrastructure. The assessment must report actual flaws and weaknesses in the infrastructure. Due to the expense of the hiring outside consultants, the testing must be performed using in-house or cheaply available resources. There cannot be a possibility of any equipment being damaged in the test. Which of the following has the administrator been tasked to perform? That's going to be vulnerability scanning, because vulnerability scanning isn't actually going to corrupt, try to take everything over, whereas a penetration test, that's like fair game. Anything can get corrupted in that, anything can be accessed, and then they could potentially lose some of their assets from working. So, vulnerability assessment. A network administrator attempting to troubleshoot an issue regarding certificates on a secure website. During the troubleshooting process, the network administrator notices that the web gateway proxy on the local network has signed all the certificates on the local machine. Which of the following describes the type of attack the proxy has been legitimately programmed to perform? That's a man-in-the-middle attack. Which of the following use the protocol? That is SCP and SFTP. Which of the following is the greatest risk to a company by allowing employees to physically bring their personal smartphones to work? And that's A, taking pictures of private information and equipment in restricted areas. Which of the following is a summary of loss for a given year? And that is the ALE. Security officer on a military base needs to encrypt several smartphones that they'll be going into the field. Which of the following encryption solutions should be deployed in the situation? And that is, according to CompTIA, it is AES 256. An organization relies heavily on the application that has high frequency of security updates. At present, the security team only updates the application on the first Monday of each month, even though the security updates are released as often as twice a week. Which of the following would be the best method for updating this application? And that is A, configure the testing and automate patch management for the application, preferably do after hours. Easiest way. Technician must configure a firewall to block external DNS traffic from entering a network. Which of the following ports should they block on the firewall? That is going to be port 53. Software development company needs to share information between two remote servers using encryption to protect it. A programmer suggests developing a new encryption protocol, arguing that the using an unknown protocol with secure existing cryptographic algorithms libraries will provide the strong encryption without being susceptible to attacks on other known protocols. Which of the following summarizes the best response to the programmer's proposal? That is B. The new protocols often introduce unexpected vulnerabilities, even when developed with otherwise secure and testing algorithm libraries. And that's because zero-day attacks. You're using new software, therefore there could easily be zero-day attacks of things that were just not found during the fuzzing process, or during the testing process, or during the code lookup at the end. All right. Now we're going into newly added stuff. Security technician would like to obscure sensitive data within a file so that it can be transferred without causing suspicion. Which of the following technologies would best be suited to accomplish this? And that is steganography, or however you pronounce that. A supervisor in an organization was demoted on Friday afternoon. The supervisor had the ability to modify the contents of the confidential database as well as other managerial permissions. On Monday morning, the database administrator reported that the log files indicated that several records were missing from the database. Which of the following risk mitigation strategies should have implemented within the supervisor was demoted? It should have been routine auditing. Actually, really, it should have been kind of like the offboarding thing. You off-forwarded the position to a different position, therefore the routine auditing should have caught that. Which of the following attack types is being carried out where a target is being sent unsolicited messages via Bluetooth? And that is B, bluejacking. Bluejacking is sending out unsolicited messages over Bluetooth to Bluetooth-enabled devices such as mobile phones, PDAs, laptops, computers, sending vCard, which typically contains a message in the name field. Joe's exchanging encrypted email with another party. Joe encrypts the initial email with a key. When Joe receives a response, he is unable to decrypt the response with the same key he used initially. Which of the following would explain this? And that is D. Asymmetric encryption is being used. Asymmetric encryption uses two keys to encrypt and decrypt the data. These asymmetric keys are referred to as the public key and the private key. Alright guys, I'm going to wrap up this video. Stay tuned for the next video. Thank you. Or not. I don't know. So let me actually pause the video. Or if you can fit one more in. Yeah, let's put one more on. Screw it. Recently, several employees were victims of phishing email. Appeared to be originated from the company and the president. The email claimed to be employees with a discipline. If not, they don't click on the malicious link in the message. Which principles of social engineering made it successful, and that is going to be authority.